How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech and also to another tech news video where we go over all of the tech news that happened in the last few days, hours, minutes, seconds, probably not seconds, but yeah, we'll go over everything. So jumping into our first topic, a while back we heard that the new RTX Titan graphics cards are in some of the reviewers or pro overclockers' hands and they're going to start testing it out a bit. But now we have our first information of how these new RTX Titans perform, with a South Korean Twitter user posting some of his RTX pictures and performance in Firestrike. So he installed a water block which allowed him to push his Titan with a 2007 MHz on the core and a 2025 MHz on the memory. This gave him an overall score of 31,862 points in Firestrike and then 41,109 points in his graphics test. Now, even though those scores aren't really that bad, it didn't really put him anywhere close to the top spot. It was still good at around the 48th spot, but because it's only on water, it's not gonna get him up there because there's quite a bit of like a gap between the first spot and him. But I do believe once the pro overclockers actually start redesigning the power delivery system and throw it under LN2, then we might see some really good scores. Also, just a last minute inclusion, I just saw that JayzTwoCents just released his Titan RTX gaming benchmark video where we found out that in SLI it's not really that good, so he didn't really show how the card performed there. Maybe I'll make a video about that, but he did show us some gaming benchmarks where the RTX Titan pretty much beat out the 2080 Ti in most of the games. I think there was only one that it didn't beat it out, so no real surprise there, especially for the price, and it does have a bit more higher spec compared to the 2080 Ti, but also not by that much. And then when we get into ray tracing in Battlefield 5, there we didn't really see any performance increase at all. It was actually lower than the 2080 Ti. But like I mentioned, that's most likely due to a driver issue, which we saw how bad the RTX was in the start, so maybe later on they'll just release a driver or fix that issue. Now, comparing the previous mentioned water-cooled RTX Titan to Jayz's one, it actually scored a lot lower in the graphics department. In Firestrike, Jayz's hit 36,447, while the water-cooled one scored 41,109. So again, once we actually see the pro overclockers get their hands on it and throw some liquid nitrogen on the cards, then we might see some really good overclocks. But now, speaking of 3D mark and just ray tracing benchmarks, last week we saw that a lot of the pro overclockers battled it out to see who get the top score at the Galaxy GOC 2018 on 3D Mark's new ray tracing benchmark, Port Royale. Now, in the end, the winner was Tobias Rolf Bergstorm. I totally mispronounced that name, I'm sorry about that, but he scored a total of 11,069 points using his 2080 Ti and a 9900K on LN2. Also, just to mention for all the South African viewers out there, if you guys didn't know, Dr. Weeze, which is pretty much South Africa's top overclocker, was there as well, which was just, yeah, it was cool to see some South African representation. But continuing with some graphics news to all the ladies and possibly some men out there. I mean, it's like 2019 almost, it's 2019. Jeez. Okay, so JayzTwoCents, a Chinese graphics card maker, released a new RX 590, which is called the Gaming Ace. But what makes it a bit more different is that it's black and pink. So for all of the girls and the guys who like that type of stuff, you can definitely check that out. But unfortunately, it's only also in the Chinese market. So yeah, it's not really going to help. But now, a while back, we saw that actress Gal Gadot, which is also Huawei's brand ambassador, tweeted out praising the new Huawei Mate 10, but she tweeted it out on an iPhone, which, yeah, okay. And now we have just a step further with that, where the official Apple Music Twitter account responded to a tweet from Ariana Grande related to her Christmas and Chill album. It's nothing really, I don't really care about that, but they tweeted it out on an Android device. So the official Apple Music account tweeted out on an Android device. That is just hilarious. That's how I mean, like, it just made me feel happy for some reason. So yeah, that was kind of a mess up. Somebody's probably gonna get fired for that. So yeah, sorry about that one. But now, speaking about Huawei and just kind of mess ups, we do all know that the US isn't really a fan of Huawei and ZTE, which them actually banning to sell their phones in the US. You can still get them, but you can't officially buy it in the US. Now, the reason for the US not really liking Huawei and ZTE is because the FBI, the CIA, all of those guys say that the Huawei and ZTE is just too close to the Chinese government and allows them to get access to some backdoors and theoretically hack your phones and get some of your information. And they don't want that. Now, because of that, the US urged a lot of their allies to stay away from Huawei just before the G20 summit, where we already saw that Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Canada, and I do believe a few more has already banned the sale of Huawei phones. But now the recent one to this list is the Czech Republic, where their NCISA is kind of saying the same thing and now not permitting them from using Huawei or ZTE devices. Also, just going along with that, the CFO Meng Wanzhou, sorry for that name, was arrested in Canada at the request of the US over fraud allegations and also violating international sanctions, selling some of their phones, I remember, in Iraq and so on. So in the end, I'm just kind of a bit curious to see how this will affect Huawei in the international market. In China and in the Asian market, they're doing really well. Here in South Africa, we get them as well. But I'm curious to see how that will affect them, being that they are the second largest phone manufacturer in the world. And also, especially with 5G rolling out now, they were kind of one of the bigger guys developing 5G and rolling it out. So that might also affect them quite a bit in the Western world. Again, Asia is probably going to be way fine. But yeah, so I'm just curious to see how that will end up later on. Then next up, we all know that Elon Musk is a kind of a bit strange billionaire. It's not really like all of the others. He kind of messes around and everything. And with that, we saw that Tesla released an update to their cars, adding a fart noise feature. So now you're able to fart on demand in your car, which it doesn't stink, luckily, but it just farts. And then also you can fart on a turn signal, so I don't know. Yeah, but it's kind of a bit strange, but also hilarious at the same time. And I just like it when companies do weird stuff like this. I mean, you don't have to, but why not? You can always. Then for our last topic, in one of our previous videos, we talked about the new streaming Xbox might feature a custom Ryzen 3000 APU. And we do know that Microsoft is actually planning on making more than one Xbox, but now it seems they might be making 4. So the rumored Xboxes is going to be called the Anaconda, which is going to be the next gen Xbox One, kind of the high-end version. Then you get a Lockhart, which is going to be a cheaper version, kind of like the Xbox One S. Then you're gonna get the Maverick, which is that streaming Xbox we talked about. And then the final version is going to be an Xbox One S, but that's going to be reduced in price because they're trying to reduce the production cost and also focusing more on a cloud streaming, which again is just gonna be a big thing in the near future. Now, all of these will probably not see anytime soon. The last two we might actually see in 2019, but the others we're gonna have to wait till 2020. Also, again, this is all just rumors, nothing is confirmed yet, but it does look actually to be the case. And then finally, just also adding on that one, Microsoft is working on a new development platform called Game Core that will make Xbox game creation faster and easier. So you guys might see more Xbox games and better ones, hopefully. I don't own an Xbox or a PlayStation, so not really gonna affect me. But that is pretty much it for our tech news video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment like always. Also, if you have any other tech news topics you want me to mention in the next video, let me know down in the comments below. And I want to hear from you guys on any of these topics I mentioned. What are your thoughts? What do you think of the new RTX Titan? Do you think it's a waste at $2,500 or whatever? Or are you gonna get, or do you want to get that pink RX 590? Although it's only in the China, you can probably get it, just AliExpress or so on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll check all of you next time. Cheers, guys.